Okay, boys and girls, today it's time to review some geometry, review our vocabulary, and review the shapes so that you can be prepared to take your assessment today. First thing is that you're going to need a couple of items. So you need a sheet of paper or two, or if you have a whiteboard, that will work as well. It doesn't matter what kind of paper it is, just as long as it's something to write on. And then you're also going to need a pencil or something to write with. So go ahead if you need to and pause the video until you have those items in front of you, and then come back and unpause and you can move on. Okay, here's the first item that you need to draw. On your paper, draw me two lines that are parallel. Think about that vocabulary word, parallel, and draw me two lines that are parallel. You can pause the video if you need to. Did you draw lines that look similar to the ones at the top? Do you notice these two black lines? This line, uh-oh, I'll go back. And this line right here. Do you notice how they keep going and going and going? They would never touch. They would just keep going side by side forever and ever. The same for these lines down here. This one and this one, they just keep going and going horizontally, side by side, but they would never touch. Now, these two blue lines at the bottom, they're not parallel lines. This top blue line, that's going to keep going straight across horizontally. But look at this one. Do you notice how it goes up right here? Diagonal, diagonal. Uh-oh, right about here, it's going to touch that line. And then the two lines will cross. So those are not parallel lines. So remember, parallel lines means that they are two lines that will keep going side by side forever and ever and ever. They'll keep going the same direction and they will never touch. The next one, what do you call any four-sided polygon? If you need to write or pause the video, go ahead. And it's okay if you don't have it spelled correctly. They're all called quadrilaterals. Take a look at all of these pictures. Every one of these pictures is a quadrilateral because it's a four-sided polygon or four-sided shape. This is a square, has four sides. This one up here is a parallelogram, has four sides. We have a trapezoid with four sides. We have a rhombus, or sometimes you might call that a diamond, has four sides. This one down here doesn't have any other name except for quadrilateral, or actually that one looks like it might be a trapezoid as well because it has the top and the bottom lines that are not parallel. And then this shape right over here isn't a shape that we would normally see, but if you count the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is a four-sided polygon, which makes it also a quadrilateral. Okay, for the next one, I would like you to do your best and draw me this shape. It should have 5 sides and 5 angles. Again, go ahead and pause the video if you need some time to try to draw it. It's okay if it's not perfect. Did you draw a pentagon? Pentagon has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you know that there is a building in Washington, D.C. that's called the Pentagon? And do you know how many sides it has? You got it, 5. So maybe that'll help you to remember. A pentagon has 5 sides. What about trying to draw this shape? Draw me a shape with 4 sides, but the opposite sides are parallel. Look at all those choices that you could have drawn on your paper. You could have drawn a square, a rectangle, a parallelogram, or a rhombus. The clue said the opposite sides are parallel. On the square, the top and the bottom are parallel, and the left and the right are parallel. The same with the rectangle. On the parallelogram, the top and the bottom are parallel, and the left and the right are both parallel. I have a little bit of a diagonal line to them, but they will keep going in that same direction and never touch. And the rhombus as well, because it's just like a square kind of turned sideways. So all of these are examples of shapes that have four sides with the opposite sides parallel. For the next one, I want you to draw me a 3D shape. It has 6 faces. 2 faces are squares and 4 faces are rectangles. Let me read those again. A 3D shape with 6 faces, 2 faces are squares, and 4 faces are rectangles. Go ahead and pause the video and do your best. This is a hard one to draw. Did you draw a rectangular prism? The reason why this shape is so hard to draw is because it's a 3D shape, and you can't draw it very well on a sheet of flat paper. It's 3D. So think about something like a cereal box or maybe a tissue box. Those are examples of rectangular prisms. One more shape to draw. This time, draw me a shape that has 3 sides and 3 angles. Did you draw a triangle? What does your triangle look like? These are examples of different types of triangles. There are many different types of triangles that you can draw, but just as long as it has 3 sides, it is a triangle. You can have long sides, you can have short sides, you can have skinny sides, they can be big, they can be a right angle. It doesn't matter, just as long as you count 1, 2, 3 sides. This time, I want you to try to name the shape. And don't worry if you don't have it spelled correctly. This isn't a spelling test, so your spelling doesn't count. Take a look at this shape. These are 2 examples of the same type of shape. What do you think that shape is called? Go ahead and write down the name of it. That shape is called a trapezoid. Did you get that one? A trapezoid is a quadrilateral, which means it has 4 sides. Go ahead and count those. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only one set of parallel sides. Notice on these 2 shapes, the top and the bottom are parallel. See, top, bottom, they're both going horizontal and they'll never stop. Same over here, top, bottom, those opposite sides are parallel. That's one set of parallel sides, but the other 2 sides are not parallel. I can keep drawing this line up and down, but what's going to happen with this line over here? Eventually, it's going to hit that line that I drew up there. So these 2 sides are not parallel. Same right here. This line up here and this line over here, eventually they're going to touch right up in this area. So those are not parallel either. So a trapezoid only has one set of parallel sides. What's the name of this shape? Make sure you count the sides. That's a hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides. This side, the one over here on the left, that's called a regular hexagon. Do you notice how all 6 sides are exactly the same length? But look at this one over here. We can have what's called irregular hexagons too. This irregular hexagon has 6 sides. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is still called a hexagon because it has 6 sides. They're just not all the same length. Okay, this is your last one. You're almost to the end. What's the name of this shape? That's right, it's a cube. A cube has 6 faces and 8 vertices, or points, just like your rectangular prism. But all of the faces are equal. Think of a number cube. Do you see this number cube right here? Remember last week, didn't you play a graphing game where you got to spin a number cube? And how many sides did it have on it? 6. On this number cube, you can see the 1, the 3, and the 5, which means the sides you can't see have a 2, a 4, and a 6. Thank you for reviewing today. I hope that you were able to remember a lot of that vocabulary and got to review what some of those shapes look like. I'm pretty sure you're ready to go take your assessment now.